Okay, everyone, here we are. We're looking at our little guessing game demo again here. And we're looking at the topic of compound Boolean expressions. So in this guessing game right here, what we wanted to do was make sure that they're not guessing something less than 1 or greater than 10. Both those situations would be an invalid guess in this game where they're supposed to be guessing a number between 1 and 10. So by putting this if then in here where we're saying if int guess is less than 1 or guess is greater than 10, then we're going to tell them it's an invalid entry. So either one of those things can be true, and it will trigger that to give the feedback that we're wanting there. So they guess a -5, that's an invalid entry. They guess 11, invalid entry. Okay? So when we can put these in here to basically look for both conditions here. Now when we have an or, either one of these being true will make the statement true. If we put an and in here is another one of our operators for doing this compound Boolean. Now, both of these have to be true before it's going to go inside this if-then. So in this situation now that I've changed that to an and, we put in a -5, it's just going to say my guess is too low. Or if I guess 20, guess is too high, because what it does is it's looking at this and it's saying, well, this isn't true that both of these things are true. So it goes down to the next else if until it gets to one that does apply. So in this situation, and wouldn't really be what we wanted to do. It'd be or in there. Okay. Another operator that you can use with these Boolean expressions is the word not. So here we have, I'm going to change this. So this else if down here, you'll see that my guess too low, guess too high thing was working. If I go in here and put a not at the beginning of each of these, you might see, guess what's going to happen here now, right? I've really just flip-flopped the logic there. So if I put in something, oops, I can't do that, it's going to be invalid entry now that I fixed that. So if I put in something that's too low, it's really going to say that it's too high. If I put in something too high, it's really going to say it's too low. And that's just because this not here has basically flipped the logic around. I would have to change these two labels. Now there's no real reason to write it that way. It would be kind of confusing for someone looking at it to figure out why I would do that. There are situations where maybe using a not state operator in there does make sense. I would say on average though, if you find yourself wanting to use that, there's probably just a better way to do it. Code should be easy to read for people as well as it is for your program to execute. So I don't think there are very many situations when you want to use that not, although there are a few valid situations. Same thing with the ands and ors. Sometimes, there's a real reason to do it. In this instance, we know we're taking care of the low end and the high end at one time. Would it be wrong to separate those out and have them separate? No, it really wouldn't. But this is a pretty simple situation where we could do that. By the way, some common errors that I see with using this, sometimes people will, as we read it, we'd say else if int guess is not less than 7, but you see I get this error message here. The not needs to come before the expression here. Okay, so it comes before when I type it in. So not int guess less than 7. Like I said, it's not a very good idea to do it that way anyway. And also the other thing, when we see if guess is less than 1 or guess greater than 10, what I'll see people do when they're typing it in, I mean, you and I can read this, if int guess less than 1 or greater than 10, we read that and we know that we're talking about guess on both sides of the or, but notice there is an error message there and it's saying expression expected, and a lot of times beginning programmers look at that and they don't understand what does it mean, expression expected. And the thing is, the program just doesn't understand that you're talking about guess on both sides of that operator, so you do have to put the full expression on both sides of that. All right, that's just a little bit about some Boolean operators for you there.